What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. Oh, lots of people I see around here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so while everybody gets in, oh, hey Charles, what's up, Christina? Good to see you. Mr. Flores. Hey, man. All right, all right. Good to see everybody. And let's see if yeah, there's Peter. Hey, Peter. You like the title? That's for you, buddy. That's for you. Okay, while we're in here to make sure everybody, we always like to give it a minute or two. I had an argument with my father and one of my friends about a week and a half ago. In chat, tell me please, is an English muffin with peanut butter and a glass of chocolate milk a breakfast or a dessert? I want to know. Both breakfast, both love it. Okay, okay. And then I guess the second question is, do Americans eat dessert for breakfast a lot? I feel like that's the thing. Yes, we do. Okay, good deal. Okay, okay, okay. So this is I hear breakfast. I hear breakfast, most breakfast. Nobody says purely dessert. I got some no's. So if you just joined, the question is English muffin covered in peanut butter, toasted, of course, because I'm not an animal, and a glass of chocolate milk. Breakfast or dessert? I got both mostly, and I got breakfasts. Yeah, yes. Peanut butter is God's true food, spoken like my dogs, Charles, and also like a champion. I agree with you completely. Lunch, if you do it Elvis style, but you have to have bananas then, Peter. I know what's going on here. Multiple food groups. Okay. See, thank you, Heidi. There's protein and like carbohydrates and I'm going to say macros, maybe, other dietary sounding words. Peanut butter with everything. Okay. Okay. I love that. I love that. Peanut butter with everything. My mother-in-law, see, there you go, Desiree. You're welcome. There you go. I'm telling you, it's a good breakfast. My mother-in-law puts peanut butter in everything too, because that's the one thing we agree on in the home. There's always, I know you guys can see obviously the title shot, and first of all, you guys can see my screen, right? The shared thing. Just make sure I'm doing that because I got one more minute of vamping here. Um, but we always have a ton of peanut butter in this house because dogs. It helps them take pills. You know what I mean? All right. Get one more minute. You guys can see the screen, right? Or am I losing my mind? You don't just see me. I did share it. It does say shared. Cool. Thanks, James. Appreciate you. Cool. Cool. Um, all right. So we got the debate solved. By the way, it's a breakfast. We'll just be very clear on that. My father and I both thought it was a breakfast for sure. I do not have a black-mouthed cur, Denise. So what you were looking at right there, that's Poe. He is a boxer pit rot Doberman German Shepherd Bulldog. He's gorgeous, but he's stupid. We love him very much. He's very, 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 very happy boy, and he's a sweet, sweet dog. He's also about 85 pounds of hugeness. And just because I wish I could pay you to give me this introduction, this is Loki. Loki is a Pomeranian Chihuahua butthead with the worst bark that's ever existed, but he is definitely my little buddy. He's 13 pounds, and he sleeps here, right on your face. He's a face rat. So, everybody, thank you so much. He's not a butthead. Cats met him. So everybody, and that's apparently like the world's smuggest picture of me. So everybody, just welcome to the office hours. I'm gonna go back one because that was a really cool introduction. Welcome to Security Office Hours Chick-fil-A edition. I'll get into that in a second. For the record, those of you who don't know, my name's Steve Hicks. I am the cybersecurity practice manager over here at Endsight, and for all of the multiple people on this call, I've seen you here many times. Thank you for joining. It helps keep my energy up. We get lots of good presentations on this one. Give me a one in chat if this is the first time you've been here with us. That'd be cool. So if you're first time on this call, put one in chat so I can recognize and say hello. But just so you guys know, what I do here is we do these calls quarterly. It's a rising tide lifts all ships kinds of things. It's free for our clients. It's free for the community. It's free if you want to invite anybody you want. First time paying attention. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that. But here's what I'm at. This is the vanity slide because I got to stroke my narcissism because I'm going to talk at you for an hour so I can make myself feel good and ramp up about it. We are Endsight. We do more than just technology integration. So if you are a client, please know that we actually have a whole AI group, a development group, obviously cybersecurity group, that they're terrible. I don't know who runs that company. It's terrible. But the managed IT is obviously where we started. We're very, very good at these kinds of things. And since everybody's already been here, You already know we've won a whole bunch of awards. The security team wins or gets very close to winning Capture the Flag every year at one of the big cybersecurity conferences. These are our main values: respect, can connect, service, heart, value, and progress over comfort. It's a cool RSVP thing. In this particular case, we would call this a value presentation, as I'm trying to give value to everybody, but really it's a respect and connect thing for me because I just like doing it. So, for those of you who are new, what this is supposed to be, this is not technical. This is going to be strategic. This is going to be governance. This is going to be for executives, for people that make decisions in businesses. You want to know what's going on in the world, things I should tell you about, things that are making me change my mind about stuff, where I'm going to come to you next with various things. And I actually do have something that has changed and that will be coming soon in this presentation. So actually pay attention, Peter, and your Chick-fil-A stuff. So, y'all, we normally make this slide deck. It's a beautiful slide deck. Thank you, Aaron, for making this slide deck. We do it about 2 weeks before the presentation because I want to capture what's happened in the last quarter since we chatted, right? You guys may know that cybersecurity doesn't stop a week before this presentation. So we actually have 2 things I want to talk about that I do not have assets for because one of them happened an hour ago and one of them happened yesterday. So here's my non-slide presentation on 2 topics. Stick with me on this, and we're going to put links in the chat. The first one happened an hour ago, and Chick-fil-A got hacked. Isn't that fun? Chick-fil-A One, I think they call it. And again, this was an hour ago. Guys, give me a 2 in chat if you already knew Chick-fil-A got compromised at like 11:30. Megan, what's up? All right, maybe they were hungry. Now, Peter, I know you knew. That's cheating. You sent me the story. I appreciate that. Now this one. Give me a 3 if you didn't know you could hack a chicken sandwich. A joke, of course, but new in the dollar menu, it's Target 2.0. That's a good one. I like the jokes in chat. That's excellent. Well, see, you can, guys. Chicken sandwiches, I'm telling you. Anyway, Chick-fil-A appears to have had some of their customer data compromised on their Chick-fil-A One program. Just another point, hey, your data's out there, right? And that's most of what this presentation already is. But give me a 4 in chat if you knew that ChatGPT, or actually OpenAI, the ChatGPT guys, accidentally hacked somebody yesterday. Okay, everybody. I know you can't chat back at me at the moment, but I'm going to level with you. What the heck do I do about that? Right? Okay, give me a 5 in chat if AI is at top of mind for you and your organization at the moment. Gosh, it's weird, right? So I shouldn't do anything about this? We'll not talk about AI at all? No AI talk? You guys know we have AI office hours too. I'll tell you about that at the end. But so here's what we think happened, knowing that this story is a solid 1 day old. What OpenAI and the AI startup, and their name is called Hugging Face. I'm not making this up. Why does nobody take us seriously? There's no way to know. OpenAI this is what they say. So let's just hold off on this. This is what OpenAI says. They were conducting a test of their newest ChatGPT 6 Soul model and also an unreleased, more powerful model. And we've heard that before with Mythos, which we will be getting into as topic 1, actually. That they definitely have this more powerful model, but they can't show you yet. But it's definitely more powerful. Be afraid, be very afraid. But we can't show you, but it's great. Sure. We're doing a test, and it broke out of a sandbox. Give me a 6 if you know what I'm talking about when I say sandbox. So while people talk, I'm just trying to keep you awake at this point. Isolated place where you can test things. We use the term in IT all the time. It apparently broke out, traveled through OpenAI's systems till it found a computer that wasn't supposed to have internet access, determined via web search that this Hugging Face startup is likely to have a solution to the test it was given, broke into Hugging Face's startup with credentials, and did a thing. Give me a 7 in chat if you think maybe we aren't getting the whole story and there's something else going on here. This is weird. You guys, it's funny to watch chat just light up with 7s and 5s and stuff. So I enjoy that a lot. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't think that they I'm not sure that that's the truth. There are varying levels of challenges on here. And Aaron, if you'd put the two links that I gave you in chat real quick, and just the Chick-fil-A one and the ChatGPT one I gave to you in Teams. Um, I bet there'll be something else coming out about this, or there'll be so much money involved that we will never know. But the truth is, agentic AI is out there. You guys all know what that is. So, to give you a quick primer on agentic AI, there. Thank you, Aaron. Perfect. There's the two links you guys can read. And again, we're talking an hour and a day old, so this could totally change. This video may not be evergreen, and I might be totally wrong tomorrow, and I'm good with it. Maybe it doesn't age well. The deal is agentic AI is an AI system that can do things. One of the people in this chat who I love very much likes to call it the wrong answer machine. So everybody, you understand. Give me an 8 in chat if you know there's a difference between I can go to ChatGPT on the web and ask it a question, and I can have it do a thing. Those are two different types of AI. Cool, cool. So that's true. Those things are true. So in this particular case, agentic AI is for good guys and bad guys. And guys, I don't like the term, but it has become fairly gender neutral. So forgive me on this: good people and bad people. Um, and it's got a ton of power, and it's got a ton of potential, and it's got a ton of social cost. I'm not making any political commentaries in this call about whether AI is quote good or quote bad. But give me a 9 in chat if anyone at your organization has asked or is thinking about, what is my team using AI for right now? What prompts are they putting in AI for right now? And are they using any non-approved AI tools? So everybody. I agree. And when you go to our AI office hours or you have conversations with us, I want you to know we don't know yet. This solution is not really solved. There are several theoretical options for this. There's a company called Netscope that's got an option. There's a company called Zscaler that's got an option to see what you're putting in AI and see what you're using in AI. But the challenge is, and this is one of the reasons I'm talking about this in general, I used to be able to say cybersecurity was the fastest moving sector of the fastest moving industry on the planet. And up until December, that was true. It's not anymore. AI is the fastest moving. And the challenge is AI has gotten fast, and it has gotten more quickly, and it has gotten just dramatically more useful, but also more expensive in a way that the industry has not caught up with yet. There are some very, very expensive and very, very convoluted ways that we could monitor what people are putting in AI or limit the use of AI if necessary. But they're not appropriate for small to medium business. Give me a 10 in chat if you work for General Electric, Tesla, or NVIDIA. Weird. Not a lot of enterprise people on Endsight client list. We're SMB by design. So not only when I propose a solution, does it have to be, affordable for a small to medium business, but it also has to meet the need. And right now, I'm not certain, and I genuinely believe that there isn't a tool that will tell you what my team's using AI for, what my shadow AI is, how much people are using it, if they've put my personal or company data in the wrong place. I do think those tools are coming. So everybody, this is kind of one of those things I wanted to tell you about first in these calls. One of the things that really, really matters to cybersecurity is keeping up, right? The bad guys have, and the numbers go all over the place, but in 2025, we estimated about $10.5 trillion, and that's because that's what the Bitcoin said. They move really, really quickly, and AI moves really, really quickly, and whether they are good guys or bad guys is kind of up for debate for the world right now. But the truth is, this is coming. Hear me. Hear me on this. This will be a change. All of you who are on our managed security services program, this will be a change. This will be something I'm going to have to find a way to implement if people want AI. If you're not on our MSSP program, same thing. You're going to have questions. What are people using AI for? How do I limit this? How do I make it so they don't put it in other AIs? And the answer will come. Somebody will probably vibe code a startup to do this, and it will be useful and it will be helpful. And typically when people say we're doing AI implementations right now, our primary focus is around the human, right? We write policies and we say, do not put data into the wrong place or we'll fire you. And we say, we block all other AI on your corporate device besides the one we've approved and are paying for. For the record, everybody, If you want people to stop using just whatever random AI on public to do their work, give them something they can use, train them on it, and write policy around it. That's the best answer I have right now. I mean, it's a good answer, right? So give me a 11 in chat if you've heard my people, process, and technology rant a million times, where security is not just something I can just sell you. Right. Thank you. Everybody, security is not just an easy button. There are some technologies that are just an easy button. If you don't have an endpoint detection and response product, like in our case, we use Blackpoint Cyber, Microsoft Defender for endpoint, um, that's wrong. There's not another way to say that. But when it comes to something like AI, at the moment, it's let's train people. Let's give them the policies. Let's give them the tools to do it right. Let's show them what happens if they do it wrong and have teeth in it, rather than me going, here's your technological solution. Perfect link, Aaron. Thank you very much. We actually have a whole pillar, a whole video on the 3 pillars of security. It's also the 3 pillars of project management. We just shamelessly stole that. The security community did. So what I'm saying is it's common. It's dangerous as heck. It's also useful as heck for lots of things. There's medical imaging that's becoming more commoditized and all sorts of other great things about AI. There's also a ton of social costs. So we're not trying to make it, again, not making a political argument here. I'm just saying that my job is to tell you when things change. And I don't even have an asset on this. There's no slide that I can make that says, I'm going to try to sell you something, or I'm going to try to change your policies, or I'm going to try to change your approach to something. Because, I mean, there's probably 6, 7 people in this chat I've already spoken to about, hey, is AI safe? And I go, no. But we can make it safer, and we can train people, and we can help understand how it's going to work, and we can limit uses, and we can block people. We want to give people the ability to work easily and effectively. So everybody, I just wanted to take a second, and a second is actually 17 minutes apparently, and say, I didn't have an asset for this, but when OpenAI literally broke accidentally, we'll see. We'll see. I think somebody turned the safeguards off and didn't necessarily say that yet. When they actually did that to another company, yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm worried about the bad guys using AI to hack into systems. I'm worried about the good guys putting AI or putting data in AI that they shouldn't. And I'm worried about the AI companies doing the right thing behind the scenes. And I'm like 95% sure they're definitely not. Or they're moving so fast that they're breaking things. And we all know that's true. But in my world, at least professionally, can't fight the ocean. It's coming. Let's control it. Let's make sure the policies are written and the people are trained. And for the record, and this was not supposed to be part of the presentation yet, we do have a full-on AI department here at Endsight that we are talking about this. Mr. Brian Torado and Aaron Brzezinski and I are talking about this all the time. And as things evolve, these conversations will evolve. The AI office hours will evolve. Our approach will evolve. This is one of those things where we were right on the bleeding edge. So there's the small non-planned AI rant. So thanks for sticking with me on that. Okay, we're going to move into the actual schedule now, so I appreciate that. Remember, if you have any questions, throw them in Q&A, throw them wherever you want to go, and I'll get to them as well. We have a couple pre-submitted questions at the end, but we'll do a whole Q&A section at the end. Give me a 12 in chat if you know that the U.S. government blocked access to 2 Anthropic models in June. Cool. Excellent. So what happened? So, Anthropic, who makes Claude, the competitor to OpenAI that makes ChatGPT, those are the 2 big players in the market at the moment. Obviously, Microsoft has Copilot and Google has Gemini, but we'll stick with those 2. The U.S. government told them no foreign national can have access to your Mythos model, which is their advanced cybersecurity model that even normal humans don't have access to. That's the one that was definitely going to break into things. And Fable, which is effectively the same model with safeguards on it. They said, no foreign national can do this. Now, the net result of that is they had to shut it down. Right? They had to shut those 2 things down. Now, I'm going to make a quick comment about why, but I don't want to stray into politics on the call. It's pretty important. About a month previous, the U.S. government had tried to get Anthropic to use their model to do autonomous weapons targeting. Anthropic said, no, we're not going to do that. The U.S. government immediately declared them a threat. OpenAI, the ChatGPT guys, said, we're also definitely not going to use our model for autonomous weapons training. And 3 hours later, they signed a contract to do that exact same thing. So it is conjectured that this is a retaliatory move. I don't know that. And I won't know what's going on with the insides of the U.S. government. I'm not 100% sure the U.S. government knows what's going on inside the U.S. government. But this is a real supply chain threat. Guys, give me a 13 in chat, please. If you are currently using Claude in your business, you're actually using Claude to do actual business work. Excellent. So are we. Endsight does the same thing. Give me a 14 in chat if you're using any AI in your business right now officially. Can't boil the ocean or can't fight the ocean, can we? Look at that's dang near everybody on the call. There's a lot of it out there. So either way, in that way, this is a supply chain threat, right? Give me a 15 in chat if you think in a year it will be an indispensable tool you can't get away from. Yeah, probably. I mean, I can't predict the future, but probably. It's gonna get better. It's not going to get any worse. Everybody used to say when Tesla was using AI to auto drive their cars, it was terrible, and the auto driving only gets better. It doesn't ever get really regress too much. But the reason I say this is a significant supply chain threat. If somebody was to take out your Microsoft 365, or your Salesforce, or your line of business application, or your internet, right? That's a huge threat. You can't do work. So the reason I say it's a threat is we want to talk about the CIA triad, and I don't mean the Central Intelligence Agency. I mean the confidentiality, integrity, and availability triad. I think AI in general is a confidentiality issue. I am pretty sure they're not telling us the truth about what they're training on, and there's so many different ways that your data could get out there, and it shouldn't be indexed. And there's obviously tons of arguments about it being trained on like artists' work without their permission, lots of stuff like that, books and all sorts of good things. But reality, this specific issue is going to be can't even hit the click button. This is an availability threat, right? Data, I can't get to my data, I can't get to my work, I can't get to my team. Now, if you're storing data in an ad, that's probably bad. But if you're using it to execute actual work, yeah, you're having a much harder time doing your work if you don't have access to your same tools. So the question is, I'm just going to leave that there. How do we plan for this, right? Y'all give me a 16 in chat if you've gone through a cybersecurity tabletop exercise with me where we go and we say, hey, this bad thing happened hypothetically. What do we do according to the plan? Yeah, there's quite a few of you. I appreciate this. This is good. This is what we would do on something like that. I would say, hey, y'all, we came in and we found out that there's ransomware. That's a really common one. Or there's an insider threat. You got someone who quit but took a bunch of data with them, or like your backup's been destroyed. And these are all actual things that have happened to people in this call I know about. And we have varying levels of maturity. By the way, it's super fun to do this because I bring all the executives in, I hand them the plans, and I say, okay, this hypothetical thing happened. What do you do? And everybody goes, oh, which is fun because I know this is going to shock everybody. And give me a 17 in chat if this absolutely does not shock you. Having a plan you've written sitting in a top drawer 10 years ago that nobody's ever looked at with names of people that aren't here anymore is not an effective plan. Oh, weird. You guys knew that one. Oh, that's just so odd. Give me an 18 in chat if perhaps maybe sometime in your career a situation like that has happened where we definitely wrote this plan from the internet in 2006 and it's on somebody's desk and it's definitely there and we're gonna follow it and like half the people aren't working there anymore. Right? Plans are only as good as the update. Right. So if you'd like to do this with me, it's literally a 2-hour charge. It's nothing. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, I come up with really good scenarios and I usually poke a little bit of fun at people. As you can tell on this chat, I tend to be a little bit irreverent. This, Steve, is much more fun than when something bad happens, Steve, and I have to be like, tell me what is going on. Let's correct this situation. Not as fun. So when it comes to risk, which is what we do on the tabletops, there's kind of 4 things you can do, everybody. And I'm going to just kind of bring them out here. These are the things that you can do with risk. There's one that scares me the most. So to be very, very clear, avoiding risk, just literally don't do business like that anymore. Stop using AI. Give me a 19 in chat if you can just stop using AI right now. Megan, are you sure? Everybody in your whole company can just stop. You'd be good forever. All right. Well, that's impressive. That's not more than it's more than I thought people were going to say. If you mitigate the risk, think buying insurance, right? Sorry, mitigate the risk is correcting something. I'm getting confused in my own mind here. Mitigate the risk. We have a risk of ransomware, so we implement protections and multi-factor, right? Transferring the risk is buying insurance, effectively. That's what that is. Accepting the risk is the one that scares me, and it's the one that I think we're all doing the most without knowing it. And I'm going to ask for more participation in a second, so stick with me on this sentence. When we accept a risk, we say, hey, I know that working with the US government means I'm going to have to go through some level of cybersecurity certification at some point and audit. That cost and risk is something I accept to do part of my business. Totally normal. I'm a financial advisor or an actuary. I understand that there's a risk of financial markets that my decisions and my suggestions may not pan out perfectly, but that is the part of doing risk for my organization. Everybody's familiar with those risks. Give me a 20 in chat if you think there's a risk that your business is accepting right now and you don't know you're accepting it, or your executive leadership doesn't know they're accepting it. Me too. That's the big scare here. My problem with risk is not that we can buy insurance or we go, yep, we know about that, we move on with our lives, or not that we're just not going to make widgets anymore, we're going to make who's-its or whatever. Those are totally normal. But my biggest concern is, oh my gosh, I didn't know we were saying yes to this. Number one example I have, and by the way, Aaron, if you can get this video, I didn't prep you on this, I'm sorry, wineries. Everybody who makes wine, they all say, hey, Steve, we make wine. Nobody cares about our soil or our grapes or our bottling process or our inventory. You're right. They want your owner. Nobody starts a winery when they're poor, or at least that's what the bad guys think. There's a difference, everybody, between owning a law firm, which is wealthy, and starting a winery, which is a different level. That's the risk they're accepting. If I was to get into a winery, I would say, oh my gosh, I want the accounting department and I want to get to the owner. That's where the real money is. That's where I extort people. There's similar risks like that in business, and AI, of course, is one of them. And I guarantee you, we are accepting a risk with AI we don't currently know about. And when that changes, I'll be back here and you can hear me tell you, well, we figured out what it was, and it's this thing. And the reason we know is because this thing over here burned down because of it. So we call this third-party risk management, right? And I know I'm going off on some tangents here. This is a particularly sensitive topic for most, and AI is pretty interesting right now. So it is frequently discarded or postponed. Give me a 21 in chat. If in the last year you have thought about and actually made a written plan for my third-party vendors and what they are doing and how they steward my data. Give me a 21. Peter, I know you've done it. You here? We did it with you. Bob, excellent. Anna, excellent. Cool. It's not as common, right? As you can see, it is frequently discarded because people are worried about doing their jobs or protecting their endpoints or stopping ransomware or having their backup or their computer that needs to be replaced. This is a really common thing. It's why we have a dedicated security department here, is because we don't forget about that stuff, right? We only do security. We don't do your old computer. But there are some good ways to stop third-party risk. Tabletops, like I talked about, I just really like tabletops. So a tabletop is a hypothetical situation where we walk through it in a meeting and we update the plans and stuff. A live failure demonstration is I walk into your server room and start ripping out cords. Give me a 22 in chat if you think you could definitely authorize me to do that as a real hard test, and it would be completely non-impactful to your business. Weird. Roger, wow, impressive. Okay, that's really cool. It's really uncommon that somebody says yes to that. That's the reason we don't do live failure demonstrations, and large enterprises do, because they need more aggressive testing. But there's other ways, right? Alternative suppliers, which sometimes you can do and sometimes you can't. Everybody, oh, that's true, Roger. That's a good point. Everything in the cloud is a good way to do that. Give me a 23 in chat. If your main line of business app that isn't Microsoft 365 or Google, if there's a competitor that is suitable that you could switch to if your current provider did something that was unacceptable. 23 in chat. Ooh, that's rough, right? That's an accepted risk. You are accepting, hey, I've got this risk. And if I'll use Salesforce as an example, Salesforce goes down, we wait for Salesforce to come back up. Salesforce does something horribly unethical that my company cannot stand. We have to figure that out. That's a risk. And the risk could be, the answer could be, I accept this risk. You write it down, you move on with your life. Works great for insurance, works great for regulatory. You can't have a riskless business, but just as a thought, something that's going on out there. All right, I'm going to drop the AI topic for a little bit because even I'm friggin' sick of it right now. And let's talk about anybody that has a kid or has in any way been related to someone in school. Give me a 24 in chat if you knew that Canvas and Instructure were radically hacked and down in April and May. Yeah, that's fun, huh? Um, give me a 25 in chat if it was directly related to someone close to you, like your children or your nieces and nephews or a teacher or something like that. That sucks, doesn't it? Ah, third-party risk. All right. So, for those of you who do not know, blessed to not be currently involved in the educational system, Canvas and Instructure suffered a major ransomware attack in May. And like right in the middle of finals, like grades went down and intercommunications went down. Basically, the school management system went down. Guys, sorry, everyone, give me a 26 in chat if you knew about the pipeline that went down a couple of years ago, and somebody will give me the name of it, and it was because of a ransomware attack. The oil pipeline that went down a couple of years ago because of a ransomware attack. Cool, excellent. Um, the oil pipeline, for the record, was not down. Their billing was down, so they didn't pump any oil. That's what messed up the gas prices. I think it was 2018, but somebody will correct me by Googling while I'm talking. This is another big ass problem with this, right? One company has this many things. By the way, 50 countries, hundreds of clients, and the clients are schools, right? So the question is, of course, everybody wants to know the same thing when we have an attack like this. What did they get? All right, everybody, give me a 27 in chat if when you were in school, your student ID number was your social security number. Really? There we go. Mine was. All right. Well, they got student IDs. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate that. So that's Aaron. I think you should probably start with a 0, though. Names, addresses, personal messages. You guys, your data's already out there. Have you give me a 27 or 28 in chat if you've heard me say your data's already out there. Don't ask me how it got there. It's definitely already there. Yeah, it's true. And this is another one of the reasons why. So what does this mean? Oh, for the frick. Okay, obviously it meant downtime. Okay. Man, I'm pour a 40 out for your poor teacher friends in May. That was rough, and the administrators, that was real rough. All of it means compromised PII, personally identifiable information, names, addresses, personal messages, ID numbers, and of course credit monitoring. But the question is, why am I? I mean, I'm not a teacher in a school. Why are we talking about this, right? What can we actually do for third-party breaches? So, thought experiment. If I took your name and address, all the personal messages you sent back and forth to your teachers or a student, say this person is 14, right? And fed it into an AI, and I tried to send them a really good phishing message that they would click. Give me a 29 in chat if you think I could do it with that level of personalization. Yeah, probably. I'll go one further, and I do this in one of my speeches. Oakland could, yeah, he's right. I'll give you one more. If I gave all that information to somebody incredibly charismatic, Mike Chaput is the owner of our organization, and I know he's my boss's boss, but he's actually quite charismatic. Think he could do it? Give me a 30 in chat if a really good, well-read human could take that information and write really good phishing messages and get you to click. Yeah, I think so too, right? So what I can do about this is nothing. I'm not Instructure. I can't make Equifax protect your data, so we have to train us to treat the symptoms. And gosh, I'm not going to make a conversation of about American medicine or anything like that, but we do fundamentals training like this. So we train people like this. And I know you guys just saw the poll to join our free fundamentals training. It's once a quarter. It's actually pretty good. It's live and it's free, and you don't have to be an employee of a client or a client. Anybody in the world, forward on the links. Like, this is good stuff. The question I have that we try to solve, and this is what can we actually do in the modern world, but our information is already compromised, right? We have a concept now that is new and so delightful called assume breach. Everybody, you've already been hacked. Just understand this. Your social's out there. Everything you've made ever, forever is out there. Every place you've lived is out there. Your personal identifiable information is out there. So we have to start treating the symptoms rather than the cause, because we cannot attack this cause, right? So freeze your credit. Everybody, give me in chat how many credit agencies there are that you have to freeze your credit at. Give me the number. There's 7. Not all of them are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Then you can freeze the credit elsewhere. Now they're minor, for sure, but they are credit agencies data brokers use, or smaller banks. They're less expensive. They'll have a whole Reddit thread on why that's not as 3. Yes, definitely a good start, but hey, check it out. Maybe there's more. I have mine frozen at 5 of them. The other 2 are really, really, really hard to do and really, really minor. But just know there's the significant amount of credit agencies out there, and man, it happens. Give me a, hang on, scrolling up, 31 in chat if your credit's already frozen. Okay, phew, took a second. There was a little bit of lag. You guys are giving me a small heart attack. That's good. Give me a 32 in chat if ever all of your loved ones' credit is also frozen. Fewer. I had to freeze my dad's credit. You guys have heard me tell the story about that a couple times. Significant other's credit's frozen. If I had a kid, their credit would be frozen, right? So that's the first thing. It's a really big deal. And it's not really that big of a pain in the butt to unfreeze it for a week when you're trying to get a loan or a new cell phone or whatever. It's good. But let's talk about multi-channel verification. Everybody, give me a 33 in chat if you've been to our cybersecurity fundamentals training. You know what you know about multi-channel verification. James with 31. Thanks, man. Cool. Okay. So when I talk about multi-channel verification, I literally am just saying pick up the phone and call a number you know. So that's the distillation of it. If something weird is going on, if something's happening, if you get an email from your bank or a call from your children or whatever, or your parents, just hang up, call a known good number. That's flip your card over, call somebody on the back. It's a really good lesson, and it really does matter quite a bit. So just know that that's a pretty big deal. Now, let's talk about multi-factor authentication in the real world. So we all understand, and I'm not even going to ask, because if you don't know what multi-factor authentication is, I have failed radically and should be fired. But in the real world, multi-factor authentication may be something you have and something you know, or something you know and something you are, maybe even somewhere you are, which wouldn't work technologically, but does work in the physical world, is really, really good. Everybody, give me a 34 in chat if you or your parents or your children or someone you love have a code word where if you're hurt or unavailable and some stranger comes to get them, there's a code word. And if they know this code word, only you would have given them this code word, and it's okay. You can go with this person. My parents and I did. This is a great one, right? Give me a 35 in chat if you heard my story about me being arrested in Thailand, but I'm not really in Thailand right now. Right. Okay, good deal. So the very, very briefest story of this is my grandmother got a call from me saying I was in Thailand and I needed to wire her money. She didn't believe. She was going to go send it, called my mom. My mom said, Steve's in Sacramento. I called her. She did not believe it was me. I had to physically drive to show her I was not in Thailand. The hackers are better at convincing her that they are me than I am. If I'd have just said, hey, grandma, the code word's bananas. If I don't say bananas on the call, it is not me, right? That's perfect. Multi-factor authentication. I know your number. I know it's 2 things you know. I know, don't skewer me on this. It's the real world. And I know the code word. That's pretty good. It's better than nothing, right? Sometimes with your parents or your kids or your other loved ones, just you should just call them and just tell them what's going on. Have some other method because your information's out there. They know where you go to school. They know what your dog's name is. They know where you live. That information is frequently the way people get in. So this is a plea here to say that, listen, everybody, if there was a product I could just sell you and click and turn on that would protect you from these things, I would have already done so. Because there isn't, we have situations like this where we train code words, or we train humans, or we say, I'm only going to do it this way, or we give people the ability to use AI in a good way, and we give them the right tools and the right training because people generally want to keep their jobs and they want to not get hacked. And if you give them the ability to do that easily, they probably will. And that's that part. Okay. Next topic. I know how much time I have left. Don't poke the bear. This is why you don't poke the bear. Give me a 36 in chat if you know there's an angry security researcher posting flaws with Microsoft stuff. Not as many as I would have thought. Excellent. Let's go. Let's do this thing. So here's the backstory. There is a researcher, a security researcher. You may call it a hacker. Depends on whether it's a good person or a bad person. That had found some flaws in Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. And if you are an Endsight client, there is a very good chance that is your protection software. And they went to Microsoft. By the way, here's another YouTube about it. They went to Microsoft and they said, I've got these flaws. I found these flaws. You have 30 days to patch these flaws. This was about April. And so let's have a conversation about responsible disclosure. And here's responsible disclosure. In the security community, it is a guideline. It is kind of a code of ethics. When we say, you find a flaw, you give the company the chance to fix that flaw before you disclose it publicly. Totally cool to disclose it publicly. Give them a shot. And this security researcher, I believe, gosh, what's the name? Why can't I think of the name off the top of my head? But anyway, the security researcher basically said, hey, here's the flaw. And Microsoft went, we're going to just cancel your account, destroy all your work, not say anything, and just take all of everything away. And this security researcher took revenge. Waited till Microsoft patched the flaw, released the next one. Waited till Microsoft patched the next flaw, released the next one. Because Microsoft, quote, ruined their life. And everybody, I'm here to tell you, if you're an Endsight client, you are probably using this software and it probably has the flaw in it right now. And that's going to lead to the following question. Is my company vulnerable? Yes. Yes, you are right now. However, in security, we do layers of security. Much like a Acrobat doesn't work with a single safety net, I don't work with a single safety net either. And if you're an Endsight client, there's also a very good chance you have our security operations center, which knows about this flaw and is actively monitoring for the results of it or the telltale signs of it or the fingerprints of it, because it's a pretty big deal. And this person just keeps releasing new ones. And this is what Microsoft is going to do. They're going to patch it. And this is the nature of the beast, right? So the question then everybody's going to ask me, of course, is Endsight going to pivot solutions based on this? I am not going to do that. And the reason is give me a 37 in chat if you think there's any other software on your computer right now that might have a flaw. Yeah, there is. Yes, absolutely. Just making sure you're awake at this point. I spoke for too long before I asked you for more help. Fair. And that's the case, right? And so there's always something, everybody. There's always a new thing. Right now it's AI and hacking, but there'll be something later, right? Personal hacking or hacking your iris or something like that. It's going to change. We have all these layers of security in place. And I believe that the one that we have that is looking for this is protective against this layer, right? So one solution is not as effective anymore. The other solution is very effective. This works until the first solution is corrected. Unless it's a situation like literally CrowdStrike, where they take down the entire US economy and all the airplanes, it's hard to pivot and move, especially because it's Microsoft. This is a Microsoft technology. They're a very good endpoint protection. They're usually number 2 behind CrowdStrike in the world, and we're pretty happy with that. So no, we're not pivoting. Yes, we think we have countermeasures in place, and we're doing the best we can with stuff like this, but I'm here to tell you nothing's perfect. The vendors aren't perfect, and if Microsoft doesn't correct this, I will pivot. And I will have to come to every single one of you that's a client on this call and say, this is why I'm doing this, because it's my job to watch and pay attention. We have to move to this thing. We did it 2 years ago. We moved to the current solution, and it's been proven quite great. But this is another reason we have these calls, is for me to say, my job is to watch and my job is to change. So when it changes again, it's for stuff like this. And I want to have one more conversation on vulnerability management. Everybody, please know that when I say vulnerability management, I mean attempting to patch software as it can be patched, attempting to change configurations as they can be changed, but I did not say vulnerability elimination. And there is a reason I didn't say vulnerability elimination, because if I was to try to eliminate every vulnerability in your organization, I would be rebooting your computers 5 to 6 times a day for every new patch that came out and shutting down software and firewalls all over the place as every single update came out. That's not feasible. We can't do that. In this case, this is a vulnerability. It is widespread. It is a significant challenge, and we do have a countermeasure against it. So please know, this balance that I'm playing is, hey, how much can we annoy you? How safe do you want to be? Those are different for everybody. I've got some people here in financial services. They need to be safer. I've got some people in wine. I know I made that example before. Maybe less safe, or construction. Maybe higher risk tolerance. This is all part of the calculus when it comes to protecting everybody. Okay, moving on. 45 or 15 minutes left. Oh no, Huntress was hacked. Give me a 38 if you know Huntress has been hacked. Have you heard about Huntress getting hacked? Nice, Angela. Impressive. Kat, I know you knew. Okay, so everybody panic. Okay, don't panic. They didn't really get hacked. So what happened? Clue, which is a marketing firm, had their Salesforce data compromised. Yes, another third-party risk. We don't know why, because they're not telling us. And they had Salesforce data taken from themselves. Huntress had some Salesforce data taken. A lot of, all the data you have around your clients and stuff was all taken. And people were starting to get emails from Huntress or from other Clue clients and Clue clients. Gosh, that's hard to say. It's going to lead to more social engineering attacks. But to be fair, Huntress was not actually breached. Their systems were not actually breached. Clue was not actually breached due to this. Let's just hold off on that, because something's going to happen eventually. It always does. But the reason I'm telling you this is a cool story. This is how you deal with a breach. This is the right way. You know who told me about this? Huntress did. I got an email early in the morning from Kyle Hensloven, which is the owner of Huntress. He's the guy who did it, and it generates trust, and I'm thrilled about this. This is the way to get hacked correctly. I know that's a weird statement. They have fully detailed their approach publicly. They brought in a third-party investigation firm, and as a reminder, they're an investigation firm. They brought in a competitor to help make sure that nothing was breached on their systems. They've done regular interviews and even kept us up to date as much as they possibly can. This is my favorite hack so far. This is how you do it properly. This happened. We're doing everything. We're telling you everything. It wasn't our fault. And if it was, we're going to figure out what's going on. This is killer. And the best part about this is we get to do a little bit lesson on OSINT, which is open source in threat intelligence, meaning the internet knew about this. They told everybody about this, and they were wrong a bunch. Sometimes open source threat intelligence is good because it's fast. Sometimes it's bad because it's inaccurate, or maybe it is accurate. But when I do investigations for, can we add this software to our system? Do we trust this vendor? What is the nature of the cybersecurity industry today? Well, those things. We use a combination of private threat intelligence, like Hunter sending us emails and our own personal threat feeds, as well as literally Reddit, Slashdot, Google, MSP Geek. That's OSINT, open source threat intelligence. So this is a great example. Peter, I'm calling you out because you're awesome and you're my buddy. Peter told me about Chick-fil-A about 25 minutes before we started this presentation, maybe even an hour. That's open source threat intelligence. He found that on the internet. It's awesome. It's a great, totally valid source of information as long as you reference it, second check it, double check it, second guess it, all those kinds of things. So that's kind of the neat silver lining capstone of this whole thing. Huntress was not really hacked, and even though they weren't really hacked, they did a very, very good job of explaining this. Give me a 39 in chat if you can think of the counter example where somebody got hacked and did a terrible job of telling us about it, and we don't trust them anymore. Yes, Christopher. There's a company called LastPass. They're a password manager. Give me a 40 in chat if you've heard of LastPass. Yeah. LastPass was compromised. They told us they weren't. Then they told us they were. Then they were compromised again. And then they told us they weren't. And then they told us they were. And they took months to tell us. That's how you remove trust. That is why I do not recommend them anymore. That is a significant breach. Listen, everybody, everybody's going to get hacked at some point. Probably Endsight too, probably your organizations too. And I'm doing everything I can on the planet to keep you safe. And I'm not perfect. None of us are. And when this happens, the best way for me to generate trust is to say, this happened. This is what we're doing about it. We did not intend for this to happen. This is what we did not see this. This is exactly what they did, rather than saying, never mind, it didn't happen, and then letting it come out in the news. Terrible. Okay. In summary, I don't have a summary for OpenAI accidentally hacking somebody or Chick-fil-A, but we talked about that. Anthropic, U.S. supply chain risk, just in general, right? We talked about how Anthropic was stopped by the government. Canvas and third-party breaches, and best practices when your data is already out there, and it's already out there. We talked about not pissing off the attackers. I'm sorry, this is a professional phone call. We talked about not upsetting the attackers. And of course, we talked about how to handle a breach correctly. So again, here's your people, process, and technology slide where I tell you I can't just sell you a thing and make you safe. It doesn't work like that. It's repeated process. It's training people, especially with what are people doing with AI right now. That's the biggest deal, right? We got a little house on this, right? If I was to just lock your door, you're not safe, right? But there's more things involved. And of course, I got to do the marketing slide. If you'd like to talk to us about if your house is in order, let us know. Especially in this question that shows up right now. Don't click no yet. Hold on. See people looking no. If you want to talk about what's happening with AI and how to see if people are using things in AI and what my current thoughts are, happy to. Just hit the yes on that and say, hey, look, want to know what's happening and how I can stop people from putting things in AI. Next session is going to be October 22nd, everybody. I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Sorry. I might not even know a week beforehand. We'll try to do the teasers as always, but please send this to colleagues and friends. Like the more people hear, the better discussions we get, the more value it is. I'm not charging for it. I'm not trying to convert anything. I'm just here to help. That's why you get into security. And of course, hey, everybody, give me a 41 in chat if you know we have AI office hours similar to this and we talk about totally different things. That team's fantastic. I know I work for Endsight, but this is a really high value. You should go to the AI office hours and you should tell your friends and people about it. Even I've learned some really good stuff about how to use it more effectively in my work. If you'd like to join us for that too, let us know because we're very happy to do that. Okay, we're gonna do some Q&A, Aaron, I'm missing the Q&A slide. First thing I will say is if there are any questions, please put them in chat. I did think we had some Q&A, but I don't see it in the chat right now. Or Aaron, if you'd like to post them for me. Okay, perfect. Mr. Brzezinski, thank you very much. How much of in the news about breakouts is clever viral marketing? Our next AI model is so smart, you can't have it yet. Thank you, Scott, by the way. That was very kind of you. I appreciate that. I like what I do. Aaron's got a great question. How much do we think these breakouts are just viral marketing? I think if they got caught doing that, it would hurt a lot. I do think some of these companies are too big and capitalized to fail right now. Like if NVIDIA gets caught literally selling AI chips to China, literally, nothing happens. Probably that. I don't think it would look super good though. And I think the two competitive companies right now, if they were to, have an issue, yeah, somebody might go from Claude to ChatGPT or ChatGPT to Claude, but I think they're kind of immune to that. So it's possible. It's possible, right? Bob, is it worth encrypting IPv4 DNS? Yes! I like encrypting DNS requests. It is an excellent security layer. It is a little bit of a pain in the butt to do DNSSEC, which is what that is called, but it is part of Endsight standards. I do think encrypting DNS is a useful methodology. It is another security layer. Helps with website filtering. Aaron, thank you for posting the questions for me. First question that we had was pre-submitted. Are videos and quizzes really the best way to train end users on cybersecurity these days? No, the best way to train end users on cybersecurity these days is actually having an incident that's their fault. Give me a 42 in chat if you know that to be true. You do it once and then you don't do it again. Yeah, that's the best way. Now, admittedly, it's not the best way for the company. It's the best way for people to learn. Honestly, tabletopping is really good. Having a live instructor demonstration is really good. Having a live exercise where we go through things and we talk about it's really, really good. Endsight internally has a process where we play a literally Dungeons and Dragons style board game. Yes, we're nerds. We're an IT company. Get over it. where we talk about breaches and people have to roll dice and plan things and they talk about stuff and we go through what happened in the breach. It's really good for you got to go to your people. You got to go to your who you're talking to. So I'm talking to a financial board. I want to talk risk, right? I'm talking to a CEO. I want to talk market share and value. And you want to talk in associate the challenges with their job or what's important to them. But I will tell you, training is not useful. Policies are not useful if they don't have teeth. If somebody's allowed to fail your phishing training every month for a year, you don't have phishing training. You're paying for a product, but you don't have it. You're not using it. They have to have increasing consequences. And there is an organization in this chat, and I'm going to say hi, ma'am, because I know you know who I'm talking to in a minute. When they had a bunch of people that got phished, brought me in to yell at them. I'm not a big yeller, but I did lecture people. They were in the principal's office for an hour, and their phishing positive like click rate dropped like 90% because everybody went back out on the company and said, you don't want to be pulled in the principal's office. Just pay attention to your email. That's all it took. It took 2 hours of training. It was like $600. It was nothing. It was awesome. It's a super great way to do it. That's a good way. Failing that, yeah, videos and quizzes and testing you with emails, they're an effective way, but not without support. Culture flows from the top, punishments flow from the top. If it's not important to the leadership, and we are literally having this conversation with several clients right now, if it's not important to leadership, it's not important to end users. So if you think you can just buy something and not care, I can't help you with that one. Also, we did OpenAI, so that question was pre-submitted. We literally did the entire thing on it. Bob, I would do I would do start with servers. I would not necessarily do workstations, but it's not the end of the world to do both. Okay. Um, I think I have one more question here. There's a Q&A. Excellent. Have you used China's Kimi K3 in business? Do you know how the Chinese models? Thank you, David, asked for about Kimi. I have. I have explored K3 on a sandbox because the truth is, um, I believe the Chinese government to be an adversary. I don't know this, right? My work tends to give me some information that I don't usually like to share, but I believe the Chinese government to be an adversary, and I believe most organizations in China are related to the Chinese government in some way. That's kind of the way they like to do business. Is K3 a good model? Yeah, it's actually pretty great. It's pretty strong and it's pretty cheap. It's not the frontier model. It's not Claude's Fable, which I believe to be the number one frontier model right now, but it's good and it's cheap. But I have an issue and a concern using artificial intelligence and connecting it to anything or putting any kind of data in there um, for a company that is controlled by a foreign adversary. There's going to be plenty that are controlled by foreign nationals. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be like a European AI out there or something that isn't based in America. These things are going to happen. If Britain had an AI, they're a very largely British company, I wouldn't be nearly as concerned. China, Russia, North Korea, Nigeria, the Congo, those ones concern me a little bit more. So I wouldn't probably use it for business, and I definitely wouldn't put anything into it. I wouldn't put anything into non-corporate AI anyway. But that's a concern of mine. Cool, awesome. Thank you for that, David. I really appreciate that call. Nigerian Prince GPT, it's true. Fraud GPT, by the way, exists out there. If you guys want to Google it, I'll put it in chat in there. There's a real thing. It's real fraud. You can Google fraud GPT. All right. I think that's all the questions we've got. I know I went really quickly this time, everybody, and I do apologize for that. There's just a lot to talk about this time. And there will be something to talk about in October. I don't know what it is, but I bet you it'll be crazy and interesting. So with that, everybody, I will stay as I always do with more questions. But thanks for coming, Angela. Always love to see you. Thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for the heads up. Tell your friends. I like people in this chat. We get good questions, good participation. So join us. Bring anyone you want, client or not. I love this kind of thing. So you're released. Everybody have a good rest of your Thursday. It's almost Friday. Thank you all. I'll stay by for questions. Some people like to wait till the end and ask questions with fewer people here. So I will hang by. But see you around, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks, Megan. You too. Fluffernutter, let's go, Scott. Awesome. Hey, Belden, what's up, man? 21 people fell asleep during the presentation. Wait till they leave. Give it another few more minutes. Anybody else? Any other questions out there? Give it another minute just in case. I know y'all fell asleep. I like how Jennifer's taking. There's an AI in the call taking note takers. It's fantastic. Jason Wu. Hey, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. I know we haven't talked in a while. Hope things okay. All right. D is here still. Cool, 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 cool. All right, everybody. I think that I don't see any more questions, so thank you all very much. I'm going to end the meeting now. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in a couple months.